Hey, I hope your day is going great. In this episode, we're featuring Courtney Lee. Courtney Lee is in the cleaning service business. And I mean, this is the episode that you want to tune into. It's very inspirational. Going from $20 to, scaling up to 500,000 in a year. Yes, but it wasn't overnight. So tune in to hear more about his story. Have a great one.
Okay, well, guess what? It must be Wednesday because here's another drop of the Pink Link podcast. Yes, and so today I have with me my guest. I'm going to say the king of carpet cleaning, transition to the king of hardwood flooring, Courtney Lee. So I'm going to let him introduce himself. Courtney, I turn it over to you.
Well, thank you, Marquita, for having me on. So how you doing today, guys? My name is Courtney Lee. I am I'm in the cleaning industry, and that's how I met Marquita, through some of these cleaning groups. And been in the cleaning industry since the age of 19. I'm 40 years old, so I've been in this industry for half my life. One thing I love about the cleaning industry is the freedom that it gave me to be able to not sit in one place all day. Because when I got out of high school, I immediately went to warehouse jobs because my dad did that. And within like the first year, I just like, man, I can't see myself doing this for the rest of my life. So back then, back in my youth, and some of you guys might remember the AJC or the newspaper ads, and that's how I came across the carpet cleaning industry. I seen an ad that said hard work, high pay, and I called that number, and it turned out to be a carpet cleaning company. And I started working for that company out of my Crown Victoria with a portable. And the rest was history. I worked for a lot of other companies after that. I worked for about 9 or 10 companies to about the age of 28. And then that's when I started my own business. And, I did have my trials and my ups and downs, but I will say, just through sacrifice and, learning from my mistakes and always wanting to become better. The business is doing amazing now. We are a two to...
Because I want to go back. I want to go back right quick. So I'm going to stop you right there. So you said you started out of high school. You was doing warehouse because that was all you knew, from family generational. So you then said, well, I don't want to keep doing the warehouse thing. I'm going to go head on and seek out something different. And so you got into the carpet cleaning from there. So as you work for someone else doing carpet cleaning, you found that something that you say, hey, what just made you say, well, I want to start a business, my own business doing this thing? What went off?
Well, I'm gonna tell you what happened is, back, in my, in the city of Atlanta, back then, the carpet cleaning industry was dominated by what they call multi-truck operations. And these are basically companies that have like 4, 5, 6+ trucks. And over the years, these, companies started to die down because what happened is, a lot of cleaners started finding that they could do it themselves. They created more competition, and a lot of people start becoming owner operators, and some of their best technicians started to leave and started their own business. So they left these companies with a bunch of cleaners or employees who didn't care. And that what took most of these companies under was the employees that they had on the back end, and they didn't take care of the clients. They didn't, if you don't take care of the client, then you create a bad reputation. And then what happened is Google, big old Google, popped up. And that's when people were able to start leaving reviews. And I know a few companies that went out of business because of reviews. And, they survived, Marquita, for years. Because again, without reviews and the internet, if you do a bad job, you can only tell like, a few people here and there. But when you do a bad job and someone leave a bad review, the whole world sees it,
Because I read reviews.
Yeah, everybody read reviews, So that was the thing is, these companies, that a lot of us, even myself at an early age, because I had no idea how to run a business. So it's like when I got down to my last company and he shut the doors. He said, he said that he had to file bankruptcy, and he shut the doors and he sold all the equipment. And I was like, what do we do now? Because now there's really no companies to go run to for work. So I had, that's when I ended up starting my own. And like I said, when I first started, I had no business knowledge of how to run a business. All I knew how to do was clean carpet. And even then, being taught so the wrong way for so long, I realized I didn't even know how to clean carpets, you know. So
Wow.
so I had no business, simple, business sense of business, how to run a business. Didn't know how to clean carpets, and the first 5 years of my business was just horrible, just horrible. But again, the type of person I am, I don't give up. I keep fighting for something that I
Right.
believe in. If I really want to do it.
Let me ask you this, because you had no business experience. Did you know anybody in business?
Not really, not at the time.
Right. So at this time you was around what, 19, 20, in your early 20s?
Well, no, this is about this time when I started my business. I was about 28 years old.
Okay. So you're out here trying to figure out this new business to continue to provide, for yourself and your family without any business knowledge. So who stepped in, and where did you find a turning point to keep going through those trials?
There's a guy who's really big in this industry. His name is Robert Allen, and he runs truck mount forums. And back then, what we see now, like this new Facebook stuff and these, Facebook groups. Well, back then he had a forum, a website called Truck Mount Forums, and and it had a lot of information. It had a lot of guys that was giving tips and how they do things. So with that forum is what really helped me and really what made me survive, because I took a lot of stuff in that forum. Like, I didn't know how to run Google AdWords. So with that forum, seeing guys that was doing Google AdWords, I jumped on the bandwagon. I started doing Google AdWords, just different things, that I picked up. So, shout out to Rob Allen for creating Truck Mount Forums, because it definitely saved me, when I was going through my transition. Understanding, there was a guy on there that used to call himself 1K a day, and basically mean he made $1,000 a day. There was
Wow.
another big motivational uh, uh, um, uh, thing for me, because there was a time I never knew a carpet cleaner could make $1,000 a day. There was days I was like, man, if I make $200-300, I'm straight, I'm happy. But when I started seeing that, hey, I can make $1,000 a day, I can really take this to the next level. And so those things right there, just kind of all balled up in one is what really gave me the drive and the motivation to want to do better for my business.
Right. And so I kind of want to go back to the reviews, because I did some little digging, and I went back to Truman Steamer's Google page, and I'm like, because I remember you saying you had 5-star reviews, and I'm like, wow, astounded by you still have 5-star reviews. Like, how do you do that? I mean, give out the secret sauce. How did you keep a 5-star review?
So, number one, you don't have to be the best service provider. You don't have to have the best product. The best way to keep a great reputation in any business is communication and customer service. If you can communicate and you have good customer service, that will take you so much further than being the best, because you can be the best, but if you have a bad attitude, if you don't know how to communicate with your clients, it will ruin you fast. So I tell people this all the time. You can be a mediocre, whatever you are, but have great customer service, and it will take you further in your business and in your life than being the best of what you do, but have bad customer service and bad communication skills.
Wow, so true. Because I mean, a lot of people find that. Even myself, like, I did some cleaning too, but I didn't stay in it long enough to, even talk about my reviews. I had maybe like 5 or 8 5-star reviews, but you got over 400, I want to say.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. Like, that's to be, congratulations on it, I must say. And also, it's the questions for you, but it's like the dog ate the questions. So it's like, okay, let me just go off what I do know to ask. And so, with that being said, you just mentioned truck mount forums, because I found you when I was getting started on YouTube, and somehow I get on Facebook and I see a Cleaners Connect, and I'm like, hold on, they look like the same guy that I saw on YouTube. So tell me more about your reasoning for starting that Cleaners Connect.
So the reason my thing was starting Cleaners Connect is because, when I first started to build when I revamped my business, I wanted to start doing things that a lot of people weren't doing. And about 8, 9 years ago, when YouTube really started to kind of take off, nobody, especially in the cleaning industry, I mean, it was all blogs and blogs. So, but nobody was really taking advantage of the videos. And so I said, you know what? I'll start just doing videos because, action speaks louder than the words. When you go to everybody's website, cleaner's website. I don't care if you're in the cleaning, lawn care, carpet cleaning, whatever. We all have about the same content. We all say the same thing. We do a great job. 100% customer satisfaction guarantee. No hidden blah blah blah. We all say the same stuff, okay? Because we're all trying to grab the same customers' attention or potential customers. So what I did, I started taking advantage of before and after pictures and also videos. And videos at that time was my biggest stepping stone because back then nobody was doing it. If you go back 8,
You
9
was ahead.
years, huh?
You at the game.
Yeah. I mean, you had a few guys doing it. You had like guys like Mark Stager. He was probably the biggest influence, when it came to the videos. But other than that, back then when I got on YouTube, I mean, there was really no cleaners. So and what really gave me another big stepping stone was I was the first color African American cleaner to put myself out there. Because the cleaning industry is ran. I mean, it's dominated, by minorities. We do all the cleaning, but you really don't have a face for it. And so by me putting myself, and I will say that wasn't my intention. My intention was just to put my videos out there to grab my potential clients' attention. But what happened was I started having African American cleaners calling me and said, "Man, thank you, man, so much for the videos, man. We really appreciate this, man. Thank you." It's almost like I became a spokesperson, for the minority, part of the industry. So within like 2 or 3 years, I started doing like tip of the days, and I started doing a lot of educational videos, and I started leaning more towards the cleaners than my potential clients. But it just got overwhelming. It got to the point where I just couldn't keep up, answering phone calls and cleaners calling me 24/7, emails, phone calls. I'm on a job cleaning carpets, like my phone rang, Truman Steamer. "Hey, what's up, Courtney? Man, this is Joe, man. Man, I'm in Boston, man, watching your videos." Every single day. And I said, man, I got to do something about this because this is like really affecting my workflow. So, and again, I don't want to kind of like push people off, so I used to take the time to listen to them and just imagine you getting 3 to 5 calls a day, and then when some of
Wow.
these guys got real comfortable with you, they'll keep calling, then next thing you know, you end up being like a free teacher to them. So what happened was, I said, you know what, man? I started seeing that, there was certain, people that was creating groups on Facebook. And then actually there was a carpet cleaning group that was on Facebook that was very big at the time. And I said, you know what? I can take this group. I can take a group and I can create a private group and I can basically lure everybody from my YouTube channel to the Facebook group. So I said, you know what, man, I want to start a group. So, my buddy Chandler, it was me, Chandler, and I had a buddy at the time well, he's still my buddy, but Tellis. I said, guys, you know what, man, I want to create a private Facebook group. You guys want to be a part of it? And they both was like, yeah. So I said, I'm gonna name it, and I came up with the name Cleaners Connect, and I had my best friend, one of my best friends, Kim Massengale, do the logo for it. And it's been about 5 years now. And what was funny is when we first created, Cleaners Connect, me and then of course Chandler, and then we had guys that came up, and now it's me, Chandler, and Chad. But the first year they was calling us the Black Group. Like,
Oh,
y'all the black, yeah. People were like, "Oh, this is the Black Group. This is the group for the
oh,
black cleaners." They were like, "What? Well,
hey,
no, it's not. This is the group for anybody that wants to be a part of it." So for like the first year, Cleaners Connect was being labeled as the Black Group, but we had
hey,
to we had to keep letting people know, no, this is not
it's
a group designated for Black people. This is a group designated for people who just are in the cleaning industry. And also, too,
right.
one thing about it is I named it Cleaners Connect because, you look at a lot of these groups or even like people's names, it's always like carpet cleaning group, this carpet cleaning planet, carpet cleaning, teachers, but I didn't want to put carpet cleaning in it because I wanted to be open arms to like you when you was doing the house cleaning and people who do pressure
Right.
washing. So yeah,
I felt
yeah, you felt welcome, yes. So that's what we want to do. We wanted to be a open group for any type of cleaners, you know, and accept anybody who do any type of cleaning. So I will say the group has just been amazing. We have gotten so much good feedback from the group. Actually, I did an interview with Clean Fats magazine about a month ago. I'm going to be I'm going to have an article. They're going to put me like an interview like we're doing now, but you know, a content interview in their next December magazine. And that's the first thing they said. They said, first of all, I just want to let you know, you guys have Cleaners Connect, one of our favorite groups that we like to watch. You know, so
Let me just plug this right quick. Cleaners Connect is an awesome group, whether you cleaning homes, cleaning carpet, cleaning hardwood, cleaning tile. Like, it's so much help to be found in that group. Like, I found so much, you know, information when I was on my cleaning journey. So
yep.
tap into it. It's on Facebook, Cleaners Connect.
Yeah. So, you know, even myself, you know, I tell people, even though I'm one of the admins, you know, that group, I've learned so much from that group. I mean, I've not only learned a lot from Cleaners Connect and also some of the other groups, you know, but I've built a lot of good relationships, you know, from that group. You know my buddy Chad Mays.
Yes, Chad
Yeah.
Mays, Chad me Beyonce concert tickets. How can I forget Chad?
Yeah, Chad, yeah. You know, man, me and Chad talk every day, you know. He's one of the admins of the group. He actually, to be honest, you know, it's kind of like I'm the face of the group. You know, you always go to Cleaners Connect. There's Courtney going live again. You know, I'm always showing, but Chad, you know, then you got Chandler who's kind of in the middle. But Chad actually runs the group. Like, people don't realize it because it got too stressful. I'm not gonna say stressful, but it just got too much for me and Chandler. I mean, because you know, we get invitations every day, and you know, looking over content. Then when you get messages from Facebook that somebody posted something, you know, blah blah blah. So Chad really takes care of all that, you know. You know, again, I just kind of keep it going and you know keep the content, you know, out there. You know, a lot of people still come from YouTube, still follow me on YouTube, and you know what is Cleaners Connect? What is this cleaner? And I've heard that so much, man. What is this Cleaners Connect? Courtney keeps talking about. So you know they'll come from. Then we have other cleaners who start talking about it. You know, like Fred Hayes, Andre Brown, even Chad. You know, they talk about it sometimes in their YouTube. I don't think people really talk about it as much, but you know, because it's 5 years old. I mean, everybody, if you're in the cleaning industry, you've heard of Cleaners Connect. But I mean, but like the first couple of years, that's how we used to basically promote it. You know, I used to promote it, you know, on my YouTube channel, and then like I said, other cleaners would give it a shout out, and then people would refer other people to it. I've had people that I've met say, yeah, I was in a upholstery class, and the instructor said something about join Cleaners Connect. I said, wow, you know, so it's been a great journey, you know, to take advantage of the opportunity of social media.
Yes. And in that group, I mean, Courtney, Chad, Chandler, all those guys and more. Those are the ones I'm used to. They are the administrators of the group. But you got, you know, so many guys that gonna post inspirational posts, tips, and things of that nature. So if you're looking to get in this business, you know, that's a place to start. Cleaners Connect and
Yeah.
shameless. But I started there, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into this inspirational and back to this $1,000 a day that you said you wanted to someday make. So, because I also saw where you posted that you've made $500,000 this year thus far. So let's get into that. Let's talk numbers. Let's talk numbers, Courtney.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't see why people are afraid to talk about numbers because no, I mean it's just numbers. People that make what we make in a day, in a month. But I'm very proud of my achievements, and it's taken a great team to do that. I didn't do it by myself. And I'll tell people this, if you don't understand business, when we say 400,000 or 500,000, that's gross. That's not profit, but it's still, but because the more you gross, the more you should be able to profit. And so, it's all about having, first of all, realistic goals. You can't get out here and start a business tomorrow and say, oh, I want to make $1 million in my first year. I mean, unless you building rocket ships, I don't know, but it ain't, it got to be realistic. And then I think that's one thing, a lot of people don't have realistic goals. So what I used to do, I used to give myself, stepping stone goals. So when I first started, I want to make $100 a day. Then I saw how easy that was. I want to make $200 a day. Then about a year go by, I want to make $300, a day. And then it got to the point where I wanted to make $500 a day. And then it got to the point I said, I want to make 700 a day. And then so you have to work towards these goals. And once you start achieving these goals, then you set new, standards for yourself. And that's what I do. I do that every year. Last year, we had 2 trucks, 2-truck operation that did mostly carpet cleaning. Both trucks grossed 321. And I decided to take my hardwood service because, cleaning carpets for half my life, I had just got bored, Marquita. I just got bored of it. I just lost my passion for it. I could just tell because I started shortcutting. I just didn't have the passion. You know what? I don't think there's nothing wrong with it because if you don't enjoy doing something, find something else to do. It's like sometimes we try to force ourselves to do something, and it's okay because that's the beauty of life. If you can just keep searching and keep experimenting, that's all you're doing. You just experiment with things. How many times have you bought a car, you test drove a car, and said, I don't like this car, I want to go try another car? How many times have you tried on clothes? You looked at yourself, I don't like the way this looks. How many times have you got your hair done? Especially with women, you say, nah, I don't. This didn't come out the way I thought it would. So so that's the same thing with business. Every time people think, oh, just because someone gets into a business, they're going to be successful. That's not reality of business. But for me, the carpet cleaning industry was, like I say, it was a passion. I think that's where it starts first. You got to have a passion for it. And set those realistic goals. So I got to the point where I finally got up to that 1K a day, and I was like, man, this is really real. I make a grossing $1,000 a day. It is really real. So now, to the point where I can profit that a day because I put a system in place. We got a great services. We work for great clients who are not price conscious. All that came with a part of how I built my business. Moving out to Gwinnett County, targeting certain clients, and also building that image that as a true professional. Because when I first started, a lot of people don't know, man, I used to have gold teeth. I had to get my gold teeth removed, and they wasn't pull out. They was actually cemented on. And I had to start reinvesting in myself. So I had to remove my gold teeth, and I had to get veneers. Within this year, I know you've seen some of my posts. I started working on my body, losing weight. Because if you look healthier, people, they feel like you're capable of doing your job, especially when it's something physical. And just trying to just be the best I can be, so I can reach those goals and get those numbers that I want. So this year my goal was 450, and we've already exceeded that goal by almost $100,000. So next year I want to be pushing for 750, and just keep creating goals, and that way, we can be able to do things in our life and travel. Right now, my wife is upstairs, getting our passports ready because we want to go to Bahamas next year and go to the Atlantis. And this year was an amazing year, especially coming off of COVID. We went to Puerto Rico.
I mean, I gotta go to Puerto Rico now.
Yeah. I mean, had a blast. I mean, we just had a great time. Our 10th anniversary, and just be able to go do. Yeah, and it all comes from setting goals and building yourself up, and just wanting to live and again, everybody's definition of living is different. But with ours, we want to travel, we want to splurge, we want to spend money. We want to enjoy the finest things that our money can buy. And just feel good doing it, and that's what we do. Right now we're renovating certain parts of our house, and at the same time, we just came off a little mini vacation, about to take another one in 3 weeks. We got to, again, yeah. So yeah, everything is it's just going good, but it all comes back down to setting those goals and just doing what you have to do to achieve those goals. And they can, and again, if your goals are realistic, you can achieve them. It's not going to happen overnight, at least for most of us. I can say it didn't happen overnight for me, but if you can really see yourself doing it and you can visualize it, and I think that's the best thing that any of us can have is a vision. If you have a vision of seeing yourself doing something, you can do it. You just got to find a way to do it.
True. And where there's a will, there's a way. But you got to plan it out.
Yep.
It ain't just fall in your lap.
No, it's not. You got to plan it out.
to go back to, you said that, hold on, what was I going to say? It was something I was thinking about saying, but I was listening to you because it was so but you said that, where did that question go? Let me see, did I write it down? No, I did not. Okay, so we can just move on to, what is it you would say to someone, you know, looking to start out, to encourage them, you know, like you said, that's what it was. It doesn't happen overnight. Like, you've been at this 40 years and it didn't just show up, you know, like when people make it, they be like, oh, you know, she just came from nowhere. Many times people been putting in that groundwork to get to where they are. And also with your success that you're having and, you know, the things that you do, you know, and enjoying your life, do you ever feel like you have to apologize for it? You know, do you, you know, do you get that? You know, y'all, you know, do you feel any, you know, how are the people around you with the new successes you're having as well?
I think the only people that you should always, if you feel like you have to apologize to, is your kids. I mean, because your kids didn't ask to come here, and we should always strive to want to do better for our kids. And they see that as they get older, you know. And that's one thing about me. I try to be able to do things with my kids. I have 2 girls. That my parents, and not to say that my parents were amazing parents, great parents, but we always want to find ways to do better, you know. And that's one thing I want to give my kids, just a good life. You know, until they're able to take. Now, I will say we're not going to be the type of parents that, you know, a lot of people say, oh, you're supposed to make all this money and pass it down to your kids. No, we're not doing that, you know, because I believe in, if you raise your kids right and you show them how to go out here and do it on their own, and you give them a head start, you know, that way, you know, you still should be able to enjoy your life, and your kids should have enough sense and discipline from their parents to go out here and be able to do it on their own. And that's why you see so many multimillionaires when they say, oh, when I die, I'm going to give my money to charity. You know, I'm not leaving it to my kids, because they, you know, these kids, I mean, shit, if you are Warren Buffett's, you know, son or daughter, how could you not? I mean, you've been getting the game your whole life. You know,
like, you should be able to recreate that yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So that's, you know, that's how, you know, me and my wife, you know, talk. Like, no, we're not gonna, you know. Now, of course, if we have property, you know, or, you know, stuff like that, you know, wheels or stuff like that, of course their name would be on it, but we're not going to intentionally say, oh, we're going to make all this money and just hold on to it, so when we pass away, our kids are going to get it. No, we're not doing that. We're going to enjoy our money because we work hard for it and we work for it. But, you know, what was the question again?
Oh, and I was asking, well, you said you don't have to apologize, but I was saying, you know how people feel like you just made it somewhere overnight. This wasn't an overnight process for you. You went
well, I think with me, most people don't know. Most people know I didn't make it overnight because I have a story. You know, most people who follow me, they've seen my progress. They've seen my growth, you know, from YouTube and, you know, Cleaners Connect. So a lot of people, so that's one thing about me, you know, you do have a lot of people that will pop up and they'll just pop out of nowhere. They already be successful. But, you know, those are the kind of people, you know, ask questions about. You're like, well, who are you? You know, where's your story? And when you don't have a story, you know, I think that's when a lot of people can start. I mean, and they have the right to, you know, they have the right to ask, you know, how did you do it? So with me, you know, I don't have to really explain anything, because like I said, most people who follow me or have followed me, they've seen where I've come from.
Right. Amazing journey. Well, let me ask you this, because in those next 3 to 5 years that's coming, where do you see Courtney Lee? You know, what type of accomplishments do you plan to, you know, scope out between now and then?
3 to 5 years. We're planning to get our first investment property next year. I will say I do see myself. I don't know what it considered to be a millionaire, but I do see myself having over $1 million within the next, I'm gonna say 3 to 4 years. I see that. A very successful company, and just enjoying the best things that life can offer. Like again, I'm definitely loving traveling. Would start traveling maybe because I grew up poor, so we didn't travel. Our vacations was the grandma house, so you don't know these things until you're exposed to it. But my wife, she grew up on the opposite. So she was like, when we started, the money started coming in and we were able to travel. She said we got to start going, going places, and I think 3 years ago, I think it was the first time I flew the most. Shit, the first time I flew was maybe 6 years ago. Besides when I came back from Germany, I was born in Germany because being in the military with my parents. But of course, I don't remember that. But now I just love it. I love flying, love to see different places and explore. And especially when you have someone to do it with. But that's the thing is just traveling, enjoying life, because I'm on a 40. So, it's like we still got so much more to accomplish, so many goals to achieve, but at the same time, so much more life to enjoy.
Yes, yes. Do you ever see yourself? Let me ask you this right fast. Do you ever see yourself stepping back and letting somebody else just take over Truman Steamers, or you just can't let it go?
Oh yeah, I could say probably in the next 5 years, get it to that point where it's just on autopilot. Because I eventually will probably want to start franchising. So I will probably be traveling the country, franchising and educating. That's where I see myself in the future, and I know it because I hear so many people. I feel like God speaks through people. So people say, "Oh, Courtney, man, you're going to end up being a life coach or motivational speaker." My
You
grandma.
are.
Well, I don't, but I don't think people say that, you motivate me, you inspire me, but I don't feel, I know I do it, but it's not like a title, I haven't put a title on it yet. But my grandma said that she told my mother a long time ago. She said he gonna grow up and be a preacher. So I think a preacher falls in the same category as a motivational speaker, life coach.
I a preacher.
Huh?
I said I get the same thing for years, and finally I'm a life coach. And
Yeah,
I
there
get the
you
preacher.
go. Yeah, so it falls into the same realm, life coach, preacher, motivational speakers. But I say this: if I end up falling into that category, I think again I would be different because again, I used to follow a lot of motivational speakers, but I don't anymore because I feel like they all say the same thing. They just say it in a different term. And also, not of course you want to make money doing whatever you do and make a lot if you're good at what you do. But it's I don't know. It just feel like it's more of a sales tactic than you have a few out there where they can just say, hey, we're going to be speaking, people pop up. Then you have others where it's just in a different way. That's how I view it. So I'm not here to name any names, but yeah, because people need this. The thing about it, man, people, these occupations, that's like you were saying, life coach and you know preachers and motivational speakers, people need this. There's one guy, have you heard of Inky Johnson?
I love Inky.
He Inky from Decatur.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
he's from Decatur. Yep. And that's why I'm saying, someone like Inky, when he speaks with a passion. It's just not the same context that I think anybody could say. It's yeah, and he speaks with a passion. I think he's so underrated. But man, the guy, like when I see his video pop up, I listen. And I say, man, I know Inky about to get down. And you can tell he speaks from the heart, and when he does it. And I actually had an opportunity to meet him one time, at a Eric Thomas convention, and he was like, "Yeah, I make good money. What I do, say I make like, the guy say I make like $200,000 a month speaking across the
Wow.
country." Oh yeah,
I'm climbing that.
oh yeah, $200,000 speaking, and of course, coaching, speaking to teams and people and churches, and so, but yeah, I definitely see that in my future. Of course, with my Truman Steamers, and but if I when I start, I'm not gonna say if, when I start doing it I want to start with the kids first. I want to start with the schools, the high schools, because I feel like if we can start speaking to the kids, because sometimes it's hard to change an adult's mindset. Because
Mhm.
some of us just get so stubborn and we don't, whatever, our way is the only way and there's no other way. But I feel
Okay.
like you can start speaking to these kids, especially these ones that's about to get out of high school, and let them know what to expect out of life. Like what you're going through now is not going to be your reality. You know what I'm saying? There's this world. Once you get out of high school and then you get into college and you get out here and you meet someone, and you have kids and you get married, and that's when life really gets real. Life is not real in high school. You come home to your mama house every day, mom and daddy house, sleeping upstairs in their room. That's not reality, you know.
Far from it.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so it's like you just gave the next question. Unless you want to give another token of inspiration, what would you say to the listeners today?
I will say this, follow your own path. Too many people out here that want to copy and paste. And even if you want to copy someone, put your own twist on it. Because most people can see when someone is not real. When it's copy and paste. Follow your heart. Follow your true passion. Don't just focus on the money. Too many of us just get out here and focus on the money. But when we just focus on the money, and when the money stops, there's nothing else left. You know. So when you really have a passion about what you do and you love what you do, that's like I said. That's why I had to transition from the carpet cleaning to the hardwood floors, because now hardwood floors, I love it. I love doing it. With carpet cleaning, I got to the point where I did not like doing it anymore. So not only was I doing myself injustice, but also to my clients, because I wasn't giving them the best, you know. So it's like they're paying me the best, but I'm not giving them the best because I'm not at my best. So my last words to whatever you do, try to be the best at it. If you can be the best at it and you put your all into it, whatever the rewards are, it will follow. It will come. That's just the law of attraction. So just focus on being the best you can be. Follow your own dreams, follow your own path. And I think if you do that, I think you'll be very, very successful in life.
Love that. Love that. And with that being said, I just want to add, find your purpose and don't put a price on it. Because whatever you love to do, you'll do it, whether you're paid to do it or not. So
Yeah.
basically, if it's something that you can do it without even receiving a payment, go for that thing because you just love it. It's naturally for you.
Yep.
So
I mean, sometimes, I said sometimes you gotta give to receive. Sometimes you gotta give things away, and you'd be surprised how many people have become successful doing free shows, doing free speeches. And because they love what they did, and then again, next thing you know, those rewards came up. One of my best inspirational stories is Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry was doing those stories, those plays for years and years and years and years. And that one show was his breakthrough moment, and the rest was history. So again, man, you got to keep pushing, you got to keep thriving, and you got to make sacrifices. I'm not all of our sacrifices are different. Some of us might have to rent, a one bedroom apartment and the whole family sleep in that apartment. Some of us, like Tyler Perry, might have to sleep in our car. Some of us might have to go back and live with our parents, and don't be ashamed of that, guys. Don't be ashamed of that, sometimes, again, sacrificing, because though that moment is just a moment. I had my moment. Some of us have had our moment. But those are the moments that are going to make you stronger. And then when you also get past that moment, those are the moments that are going to remind you, okay, what you've been through, how far you've come.
yes, it's gonna make the journey even more worth it. You're
Yeah.
gonna really know why, you doing this thing. Like that's your why,
Yep.
going through
Yep.
time, having to sleep in your car, and it's gonna make the drive even more intense for you to accomplish what it is that you need to accomplish.
Exactly.
So with that being said, once again, I thank you, Courtney Lee,
You're
Mr.
welcome.
Hartwood, and all this stuff, motivational speaker, because you say you're not one, but you've been motivating speaking it on here.
Oh,
And
thank
so
you.
it's definitely been a pleasure. And I would just like to say to you all, how do they get in contact with you if they want to, continue to follow and
Email.
support?
You can email me at Truman Steamers with 2 E's at gmail.com. Also, go to my YouTube channel, which is Truman Hardwood for Services. If you Google Courtney Lee Truman, you'll see, all my pages pop up. Instagram. So one thing about me, I'm all over the internet. I'm not hard to be found. So just Courtney Lee. If you can remember my company name, Truman Steamers, Truman Services, I'll pop up, and then all my contact information is on those pages.
Okay, and I'll be dropping some of that info in the description below, so make sure you tap in with him. He's a wealth of knowledge, and so I want to say thank you once again for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe to the Pink Link Podcast. Like, help us out. I feel like it's all about but hey, help me out. I'm on a goal to, grow this channel. So thank you all once again, and blessings on blessings to you. And continue to go after your dreams. Like, live your life. You only get one.
Yeah.
Why not? Don't be afraid.
All right, my crew. Thank you again.
Thank you.